Okay, so I've got my S18. I've got my S18 Bodyguard. So now I need to fit it. This is the best way you can do it. The first step, we need to work out which way it goes because it's a bit of an odd shape. Best thing to do, label faces up. There's 4 fastening loops towards the bottom, and there's a large hole, which is where your suspension will be when it's fitted. So that's how we want to have it for fitting. So let's start off, we'll pick up the wheel. Now, they don't balance so well, so we'll turn this on. The best way to do this is to get hold of it where that hole is. So again, we're fitting it this way, the fastening loops down, the label's at the top, and I want to pull it down through the big hole basically. I'm going to pull it down further than it will go when it's fitted, because that's going to make it easy to fasten at the bottom. So that means this part from the top is pulled right down, and at the back we normally stop there, but we're going to go further. Now we need to go to the bottom of this. So what we want to do, we've got 2 fastening loops which go over the suspension slider tubes. So we're going to open our pedal up, come around the front, I want to hook that on, and then around the outside of the lower battery mount. Same for the back. I'll take that back strap and hook it around. And I want to check both the front and the back, because some of the edges here are quite sharp, and that's going to abrade on this fastening loop. So check that it's sitting clear of the sharp edge, particularly at the bottom, and is up that little bit. Same on the front, we're clear of those sharp edges, it's sitting there nice and good for now. So now we're going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. So pedal up, hook it in place, over the bottom of the suspension slider tube, around the lower part of the battery mount. Check that it's come up here quite high and it's clear. Same on this side, we're not in any sharp edges. You'll actually probably notice the top corners particularly are quite sharp, and you'll see hopefully that this is just sitting clear of that on the inside. With that done, now we're going to pick this up. So the next thing is we want to pull this upwards. So from the front, from the front and from the back, we're just going to pull this upward. Now it's a little bit tricky. We want to hook it over the mud flap there, pull it up tight. Same at the front, and we want to pull the top of this backward over the handle. So you make sure you've got the handle through the handle slot, and we're fitting back nicely. At the top. It's easiest at the bottom to start with, so at the back we want to pull this up so it's tight. Now when you pull it up fully, it'll be clear of the mudguard, and it'll just start to hook around here under the suspension arm. Now it's clear of that and shouldn't be a problem, but just check it's pulled in. That'll stop it wanting to slide down more. Back around the front, we want to check at the top that it's pulled up tight, and then we want to hook on at the under the brake light. On either side there's a point, and we've got a pocket, a Kevlar pocket made here. We're going to pull that out and hook that on, pull out and hook that on. With that done, it's basically fitted. We just want to check everything's right. So I'm going to open my pedals. I want to pull this up a bit on both sides. I want to pull this forward at the top so it's nice and tight on the pockets and clear of the brake light for visibility. Around the front, we'll just turn the headlight off. Around the front, it should fit close around the headlight. We can pull that forward and down a little bit. The positioning of this will be, if you can see this, just forward of the light sensor, and you can just see the power switch in there. Checking everything's good, the last thing to try and check is to pull these two front pieces forward. Get that maximum protection around the front edge. They'll sit just about this position. Pull them forward and check that the loops aren't catching on anything there, anything sharp. Pull that one forward too. There we have it. Our EUC Bodyguard is fitted. The only other thing you probably need to know is when it comes to charging, or if you want to charge something using the USB port, under the front piece here we can just lift that up and you've access to the power port, USB port, but it still holds everything nice. You can of course take the Bodyguard off if you want and do it just like normal. Or if you're really keen, this can be pulled forward, so we can just unhook those two pockets, and with the handle down, that can pull forward for maximum access. However you do it, when you're finished, obviously check it's clipped back in nicely for maximum weatherproofing. In my case, we're now going to pull this back again, pull it up, check our positions right, and hook our two pockets on, just checking that they're nice and flat inside here and clear of the brake light. And that is my EUC Bodyguard fitted.